relationships.
So in some ways it's like teaching in 1958. You know, when you see the situation comedies from that time, it's real. It happens here, and it makes it an ideal place to be. And this probably sounds like a bunch of hocus to people, but it's about as close to an ideal situation that I think anyone can live in.
You know, when we first came overseas, first to Qatar and then to Saudi Arabia, all of our family thought that we were crazy. You know, what you see on the news is not the typical living experience of being overseas, or specifically in the Middle East. People think that it's dangerous living overseas, especially living in Saudi Arabia, and it's just not that way.
The media tell a lot of stories. Some of the stories are overemphasizing some terrorist acts, which are real, exist. But they are less, for example, than the people probably killed in the Bronx in New York or in Italy, in Rome and Naples. So in this sense, definitely there are exaggeration. The full information is quite distorted.
If you look at the news channels, I have to tell you that most of them, the major networks, tell you only the bad stuff. I don't know why that is. Maybe because, you know, if it bleeds, it leads.
They take maybe the exception to the rule and portray that as the rule itself, as the reality. And whereas they're just focusing on maybe a small element of what the situation really is. Although it creates viewers, and that's what they are in business to do.
In the community here, there's no muggings. We don't worry about a house being broken into particularly, or walking down the street at night. Certainly, I think I'm probably safer here than London or New York or anywhere else.
Here on Aramco, I have never once worried about our safety. The kids, again, I let them, you know, have a lot of freedom, even the younger ones, because I never feel the threats that I do in the United States as far as, you know, kidnappings, this type of things. They're not going to happen here.
You know, once you come inside the gates, you're in a very protected, safe Aramco world, and that's very reassuring. You feel like you're home once you drive through those gates, and that's a great feeling.
Sometimes you forget you're in Saudi Arabia. You think you're in San Diego until you drive off camp, and you rarely even drive off camp because it's so huge. With everything here that you ever need.
You know, the grocery store, the post office, the bank.
Everything's here.
The kids' activities. So
great hospital facilities.
Anything that you would find in a typical American community, you can find most of those things here.
And then some.
The benefits are excellent. The medical care is very good. We have a very large hospital here if that's needed. The dental clinic is excellent. I've been a patient in both of those and have received very, very good care.
One of the first days I was here, we were in the emergency room and a patient that came in with an acute MI, a heart attack, and the protocol they followed is exactly what we would follow back home. So, and one of the physicians asked if I was shocked, and I said, no, I wasn't shocked, because I was told you practice state-of-the-art medicine here. I was very impressed and pleased. It actually has surpassed my expectations.
I'm a sixth grade teacher here with Saudi Aramco schools. I've been here 25 years. What makes this school special is it's a unique Saudi Aramco environment that is unreal. It doesn't exist anywhere else. We have here almost 100% two-parent families. We have every parent is employed. There's nobody unemployed here. So all of the sort of social ills that are common in any society don't really exist here because of the peculiarity of the company and the company's policies. All of this is a positive force working to help me in the classroom.
I spend almost no time during the day worrying about discipline of the children in the classroom. So that means I spend more time thinking about how to get them to read more, read better, how to get them to write better.
With the small school, we're able to take somebody underneath your wing, and you can see that little twinkle in their eye when they get it, and that normally in a large classroom they might be forgotten a little bit because you go for the majority. But here you're able to sit down one-on-one with the student and ask them questions and interact with them and deal and feel very, very successful. It's very rewarding, tremendously rewarding.
The money benefits enabled me to like quadruple the salary that I was getting in Georgia. And so it's enabled me not only to, you know, pay any debts I might have had, help people back home, but save money and live a lifestyle. In fact, I kid a lot of people around here. I said, this is like being a millionaire.
Living as an expatriate in Saudi Arabia has a lot of financial rewards. There's no question about it. You can save, I would say, by a factor of 3 or 4 rather than working and living in North America or in Europe. We pay a token rent, which is a fraction of an actual rent. We don't have bills in terms of telephone, local telephones, water bills, electricity. And of course, we have a constant support from the community in terms of appliances.
Well, we have something broken in our house, we just call, pick up the phone, call the minor maintenance, and 5 minutes after or 1 hour after they are here fixing whatever is broken in the house, and you don't have to worry, it costs nothing. So it's very comfortable. Life is very comfortable.
There's just naturally more opportunities to save. You know, Aramco is pretty generous with their
but there's
savings
still good
plans.
shopping.
There's still, yeah.
I can still find ways to spend money.
You can save money here, but we've decided that we're also going to enjoy our life while we're here. We're in our 50s now, and so we're not driven by our savings.
Do more like we've done is save a good nest egg for when we go back to the States and we can get a house and a couple of cars and enjoy our retirement, but at the same time enjoying these years that we're here, the opportunity to travel and the opportunity to really enjoy our lives.
Another one of these benefits, there's so many it's hard to remember them all, but they pay you a certain amount of money to leave the country, to get repatriated, to be able to go back home and be with your family for 4 to 6 weeks, you know, whatever you choose to do.
And we're so ideally located of going to Asia in one direction or going to Europe. Been to 3 continents and 26 countries.
I go on safari now.